This is the water cycle. Um, Pretty much the same thing you guys did when you were in elementary school, just a little bit different. So you guys have to understand that water has been around for extremely long time. It's been here as long as the dinosaurs, if not longer than that. So the water that you've been drinking has been around for about the few million years. So that drop of water that you are drinking might be the same drop of water that a T-Rex actually drank way back when. The water cycle is a continuous movement of water on, above, and below the Earth's surface. Okay, that's why it's called a biogeochemical cycle. It affects life, the Earth, and it's a cycle that continues. And water is uh, elements put together, it's a molecule. The sun is what powers the whole cycle. It's like the battery. Without the sun, the water cycle would not be able to work. So, and there's no beginning and no end to it because of the fact it's a cycle. It's a ring. Okay, there's no beginning or end to a ring. So if you look here, okay, we have the oceans, the sun causes evaporation. That's when the liquid turns into a gas, which we call water vapor. You have condensation because as hot air rises, cold air sinks. That hot air rises as it keeps going up. It's going to get cooler, and that water vapor gas is going to cool off and turn into droplets, which gives us condensation, which gives us our clouds. And when those get overly full, those will turn into precipitation. And you guys know precipitation could be in the form of rain, sleet, or snow, and hail. Precipitation goes off. We have surface runoff, we have groundwater runoff, we have infiltration, and then we get it goes back into some kind of body of water, and the cycle continues. So to get more in depth of the evaporation is the heat energy from the sun, and it shines down on the ocean, lakes and rivers and puddles, and it forces the water or the liquid to turn into water vapor. Okay, water is one of those that can transform from a solid, liquid, and gas state. So the heat from the sun will turn the water into water vapor, which is a gaseous state, and that's why the definition is the process by which a liquid, such as water, changes into a gas. You also have water vapor that comes through transpiration and respiration. Transpiration is the process where plants release water vapor through their leaves, and water vapor can also come from cellular respiration, which is a process that animals go through, and human beings are animals. So every time we exhale water vapor. The same thing happens with your dog, your cat, um, all those, any kind of animal that does go through cellular respiration would give water vapor off, and that also goes into the air uh, as part of the water cycle. Here we talk about condensation. Condensation is where temperatures in the troposphere, which is the very first layer of our atmosphere, drop as we increase altitude. So the higher we go, the colder it gets. So water vapor becomes cooler, and it'll lose a lot of that thermal energy. Thermal energy is another way of saying heat. So it loses that thermal energy, and it'll go back into a liquid state. So condensation, by definition, is the process of a gas changing back into a liquid. Well, with that condensation, it makes the clouds. You guys are very familiar with that concept. And once those clouds become filled with moisture, that moisture falls back down from the clouds to the Earth's surface. The drops of water become so large and heavy that they have to fall down. They can no longer stay up there. And more than 75% falls into the ocean. And the reason for that is because the Earth is covered with 75% of water. So it only makes sense that it would fall back into the ocean. And the water cycle, again, is continuous. There's no end to it. Precipitation, we have different forms. You guys have dew, mist, fog, rain, hail, and snow. So if you're ever asked what forms of precipitation there are, you have more than just the typical rain, hail, sleet, and snow. Sleet's not on here, but sleet is a mix of rain and snow kind of together. That would be a form of precipitation as well. So that's the water cycle, and that's the end on that lecture.